Hey yo, it's your girl Jada J. What's up? What's up? Okay, so I want to say right off the top, yes, I'm late. Okay, I apologize. Now I could explain, so don't go getting all upset. Now, I had actually sat down yesterday to do the review, and then my camera wasn't working, so I got very irritated and I was like, I'm over it, because I was tired, but I was gonna get on for you guys, because you're very important. I didn't get to the comments last week, so I said I'm not going to be late and not get to the comments, But things don't always work out the way we planned. I apologize, alright? The stylist is fired, which sucks because if you guys would have seen me last night, that stylist had me snatched. Okay, snatched. But I don't know what happened tonight. They fell off the wagon. Okay, so, anyway, how y'all doing? Now, this is Ep.11 You Was Wrong, Season 5, Episode 11. This is our finale, called Sound the Alarm. Okay, now you guys see why I fired the stylist? Let me just say, this was a good episode, but it was a reviewer's nightmare. Okay, so I'm a little, like, dang, we gotta wait till September, but I'm like, thank God, because this episode killed me. I'm like, oh my gosh, Tyler. And you guys know I don't like to take a lot of liberties when it comes to dialogue. Or scenes, even. So, it was just like, dang, it was never ending. So this is going to be a long review. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and condense it as much as possible and hopefully get to shout-outs, but don't get mad at me if we don't get to them tonight, alright? I will get to them, okay? Or else you can come to my house and kill me. My address is... So I shouldn't give up my address? Oh, you're saying they might actually come to my house and see, this is why they pay you the big bucks. I wouldn't have thought of that. I'm being told by my advisory that I shouldn't give out my address. So, anyway, how y'all doing tonight? Alright, let's get into it. This is Ep.11 You Was Wrong, Season 5, Episode 11, Sound the Alarm. Okay, so remember last week, alright, Travis then snuck in the house again after, remember the whole scene where he choked her out, flattened the tires and everything? He's at the house the same night. So Kelly didn't already freaked out. She's checking the windows, checking the doors and everything, make sure everything's locked. So she's like, alright, I'm good. She even checks on Justice, goes to lay down, bam! His hand just creeps up like something in the night. And muffles her. Okay, so we pick up there this week. He then now climbs on top of her and he's choking her. Because remember when he flattened the tires and got on her in that suburb area, she started screaming, call 911. So I guess this time he wanted to make sure, shh, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's choking her. And she's like, please, Travis, don't do this. Don't do this, please, don't do this. And he's like, shut up, Kelly, shut up. And then she's like, please, Justice is in the other room. Justice is in the other room. He's like, yeah, I know. And then she goes, you know how much he loves you. He doesn't want to see you doing this. And he's like, yeah, but do you love me? Say it, Kelly. Say it. And she's like, please, whatever I got to do, just please stop this. Please stop this. And he's like, oh, you want to know what you got to do or whatever? He's like, just all this inappropriate stuff, lay up with me. I'm going to say lay up with me. Because I'm saying what he said is just a little more, you know what I'm saying? With this one, it leaves the imagination. What exactly do you mean by lay up with me? You know what I'm saying? Because you could literally just lay up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let y'all figure that one out. So he was like, yeah. He was like you did the last time. And if you try anything, he's like, I'll cut your throat. And he pulls a knife out. And he's like, and Justice will wake up to your dead, bloody corpse. That's not funny, but he was so dramatic. I couldn't do it. It was just like, what are you talking about? Are you serious? I've been trying not to laugh at him, honestly. So yeah. She's like, yeah, he's like, if you try anything, Justice will wake up to find your dead body. So he's like, you understand? You understand? He's like, say yes, say yes. She's like, okay, I won't try anything. He's like, alright, now get up. Get up. And she's still laying there, so he moves from on top of her. Because obviously she can't go anywhere when he's on top of her. And he like flips the blankets back real quick. And then she gets up. And I guess it's trying to put on her house shoes. He's like, you're not going to need your house shoes where we're going. And I'm like, why was she even trying? I don't know. Maybe she was thinking about making a run for it. But then Justice was in the house. So I don't think she would have done that. I don't know. Because sometimes you just want to have your shoes on just in case. But he was like, you don't need your house shoes where we're going. Okay, yeah. Because he was like, let's go take a shower. So they go to the bathroom. He locks the door behind them. He gets in there. He's like, why do you look so scared, Kelly? She's like, and he's like, he's still choking her. And you got a knife in your hand. He's like, would you like for me to put it down? I can't. So she's like, yeah. So he puts it down on the sink. He's like, why do you still look so scared? And she's like, breathe, Travis, please. You know, she was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing? He's like, what am I doing, Kelly? What am I doing? And she's like, you're getting even. He's like, you catch on quick. He's like, nah, I need you to do something for me, Kelly. She's like, what is it? And he goes, get down on the floor. Y'all know what happened. If not, I'm sorry, but I can't get into it. So then it actually cuts to commercial. We come back. Okay. Now she did something to the point where he was like, ah, and then she tries to run. But the door was locked, remember? So she didn't realize that till she tried to pull on the door. Then she tried to unlock it. It was too late. Because he already turned around. He's now... The stylist is fired. So, you know what? I'm about to just hire one of y'all. Because I know y'all know how to do hair up in here. You know what I'm saying? Kadarius hit me because you supposed to be the manager. Like, what's going on? No, just like, what's up, Kadarius? Anyway. So yeah, she didn't try to run. He said, grabbed her up there on the floor, hustling and bustling. So he was like, shut up, Kelly, shut up. He was like, I will kill him, Kelly, I will kill him, because then Justice comes out the car. He's like, Mom. And then so she's not saying anything because he's got her mouth muffled. And so he's like, I'm calling the cops. And she's trying to scream or something, but he's got her mouth covered. So he's like, shut up, Kelly, I will kill him. And Justice is like, I'm calling the police. So she's like, please don't hurt him. So he's like, dang it. He gets up, he runs out. She's thinking he's going after Justice. So she gets up too. She's like, no. So, but he's just running out the door. She actually goes into Justice's room and she shuts and closes the door. Okay, shuts and closes. That's the same thing. Locks and shuts the door. Not even if the door has a lock on it. She shuts Justice's door and she goes in there. Okay, and he runs out. So then we switch to Brad. He's coming home to Marcy. Marcy down there, she filling out some type of paperwork. He's like, oh, hey, Marcy. She's like, oh, hi. He's like, guess what? I went to the drugstore and I picked this up. She's like, what? He's like, I want you to pee on it. Nah. And she's like, it seems like you've been talking to Alex, huh? And he's like, yeah. She goes, why? He goes, because that's my wife. Are you pregnant, Marcy? She goes, yeah. And by the way, I didn't like that because, listen, it was supposed to be a reveal. I think we should have had a little bit more, hyperbole when it came to Marcy being pregnant. So I didn't really like that. It was a little too nonchalant for me. And yeah, so he goes, are you pregnant? She goes, yeah, but don't worry, it's not yours, it's Randall's. And I was kind of just like, really, Tyler? You couldn't have given us a little bit more than that? I mean, I don't think that's what he wanted the finale to be about. And I don't think he should have drugged that out because that would have annoyed me. But just a little bit more emphasis on it. You know, a little bit more exaggeration. Hyperbole, as they say in English class. Hyperbole. Alright? Jasmine. What are you doing? Jasmine, this is the finale. Get my sister upset so somebody's fired. Okay, so, yeah, anyway. Jasmine, you're gonna be escorted off. You know I got people. Okay, so, yeah, she goes, don't worry, it's not yours, it's Randall's. And he's like, well, what are you gonna... No, she's like, unlike your dumb ass wife, I can actually count. And then so he ignores it. And he goes, so what are you gonna do about the baby? She was like, I'm keeping my baby. Because she know he kind of meant, like, was leaning toward, are you thinking about terminating the pregnancy? So she was like, I'm keeping my baby. And kind of said it with an attitude. And he was just kind of like... And she was like, what? He's like, I didn't say anything. I'm just saying. You know, I didn't think that you were able... No, he goes, I'm just shocked. She goes, you're shocked. I'm shocked. You know... He goes, I thought you couldn't. She's like, yeah, I thought I couldn't either. You know how many years I wanted a child. That was my cat you just saw scurry across the screen. Into the kitchen. She's always in the kitchen. Yeah, she goes, you know how long I wanted a baby all these years? And she goes, and one comes to me now. You know, she goes, you know, it's strange, but I guess it was meant to be. He's like, yeah, well, I don't think that you should tell Randall. She said, don't even worry about that because I'm not about to say nothing to him. Okay, and he goes, good. And she goes, but wait a minute, did Alex tell him? He goes, no, like, they're not even talking. She's like, how do you know that? Because that's what you thought the last time. And he goes, look, now this time I'm very aware and I'm alert. and they are not talking. And she's like, all right. And he goes, so I guess congratulations are in order. She's like, thank you, but I think I'll be a lot more accepting of that if the child was yours. Again, see, because I don't have issues with the Marcy and Brad sort of love story that was developing. In fact, I was kind of rooting for it just so they are both over Alex and Randall, like that. Those situations are done. But it's forming a little too quickly for me. Because remember, okay, for us, we've been watching this show, what? That storyline popped off when, because Marcy technically found out that Alex and Randall was messing around. What? That was what? 14, 15, what was that, 20, no, because the show started 2014, 2015, so that was 2 years ago for us. That's when she found out. But in terms of the show, it's been like a few months. So, and we know Marcy and Brad, technically, they've known each other for years because they've all been cool ever since Alex and Brad moved on the block. Remember when they did the flashback episode? They all met, hey, and all the, they're talking and everything. That's how Alex and Marcy became really good friends. That's how Brad and Randall became friends. But so they knew each other as friends. So, all of this, I really just wish the child was, we see he a good dude and all that, so I get that. And I can see her saying, I just wish it wasn't Randall's, but you doing a lot. So she's like, yeah, I just wish the child was yours or whatever. And he's like, Marcy, she was like, no, Brad, I'm just saying. Hold on a second. Yeah, she goes, no, I wanted it to be, but there's no scientific way that it's possible. He's like, yeah, I've heard that before. She goes, no, it's true. As much as I want us to be the mother of your child. And I'm just like, Marcy, what? Like, I feel like that's over the top. Like, y'all was together once, first of all, which that shouldn't have happened at all. Should not have happened at all. And then now you doing all this, like, I'll do it. I'll do it. Somebody's fired because she's still walking around on set. Get. Goodbye. Leave her alone. Leave her. Jasmine. Sorry. Somebody's fired, I'm telling you. So, are you kidding me? Oh, you guys think I'm joking. I'm live. Oh my goodness. No, just please do. Paychecks are gonna be late. I don't know, there's something wrong with the payroll machine. I'm not handling it. Jasmine. Okay, so moving on. So yeah, she's like, I just wish the child was yours. And I'm like, alright, Marcy. And so he's kind of giving her that, like, surprise look. Because we know he loves Marcy. They love each other. I believe that. But he's even looking like, okay, because remember, even a couple weeks ago, he told her, he was like, that would be kind of crazy if you was pregnant. And she's like, would it be so bad? Like, has an attitude. And he's like, I'm not saying that it's you, Marcy. I'm just saying this situation is not ideal. And I don't really want to have another child right now. So yeah, so she goes, but, as much as I want to be the mother of your child, if I was dirty, she goes, I would lie to you and tell you that it was yours. And they're like finishing each other's sentences, and he goes, until the child was born. And then she was like, but then it would look like Randall, and that would be a lot to explain. And then Brad goes, and then Randall would know about it, and I would definitely know it was his. So, like, they're kind of shading Alex, because remember, that's pretty much what happened with Alex. She kept telling Brad, it's yours, it's yours, it's yours. And when he was really willing to fix the marriage, because he's like, okay, at least the child is mine. And then he gets down to the hospital, and all the girls are there, and they're like, Brad, we got something to tell you. And he finds out that the baby is Randall's, and he starts flipping out. Esperanza's trying to calm him down, and he's like, I'm gonna run you over, Esperanza. Brad was just going crazy. So they were shading Alex in this moment, and I wasn't mad at it. Okay, so yeah. So, yeah, he goes, but, it's not wise to tell him, especially what he's doing to Alex. She goes, what are you talking about? What's he doing to Alex? And he's like, oh, you didn't know? Well, he's trying to take her to court to get full custody of the child. And she was like, he don't know the first thing about raising no child. This is all about a control. He's a control freak. That period of the day, there's nothing else to it. He's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just a control freak. You know what I mean? Control. This is a song about control. Remember the the Janet song? How did that song go? Oh my gosh, I'm mad as heck right now because that's my jam. You know how you can't get the beat of a song? This is a song about control. Oh my gosh, I'm over it. Okay, don't get mad at me, Jedi. I can't remember the song. You know that's my sister-in-law. So I'm supposed to know. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, y'all know that song. This is a song about control. When you get the chance, just take control. Remember that part? Okay, never mind. That made me, you know what I'm saying? That made me kind of flow. I need to take some control. Then I remember how young I was, and I was like, I ain't got no control right about now. But that's that song when you make it to that point of when you get the chance to take control, and you just, you know what I'm saying? But anyway. Sorry. So yeah. He's like, yeah, he's trying to take her to court. She's like, he's a control freak. It's all about control. It's nothing else. And he's like, yeah, but imagine what he would do if he found out you were pregnant. She was like, well, he's not going to find out unless your wife opens her big mouth. He goes, well, she won't. And she goes, well, how do you know? Do the cheaters have morals now? And he's like, Marcy. She's like, what? He's like, could you please stop antagonizing my wife? And then she goes, you're still protecting her, huh? And no, hold on a second. No, actually, let me back up for a second. I'm sorry. He goes, she thinks the baby is mine. And she goes, good. And he's like, Marcy. She's like, no, I like it. I love her thinking that you and I are having a child together. I love that. And he's like, and that's when he says, can you please stop antagonizing my wife? And she's like, so you're still going to defend her? He's like, yes, I am. And then she goes, you're a good man. She goes, I love you so much. And that too, like, are you serious? I love you so much. Like, it was too much for me. I didn't like it. It's just in my personal opinion, you know. Marcy's my homegirl, Brad's my homeboy and all that, but I just couldn't with it. You know, I love you so much. And he didn't say it back, by the way. And so they're sitting and she summons him because she wants a kiss. So they're sitting there just kissing. You know, what is that? I didn't need it. Did you guys? So they're kissing, and then he stops. And then she goes, she's really on your mind, huh? Talking about Alex. And he goes, Marcy, what are you going to name this baby? And then she avoids that. She goes, can you just hold me for a little while? And then so he holds her and she's like, I'm sorry this is happening. He's like, yeah, me too. All right. So yeah. Hold on because my notes are not in order. They're scrambled. Hold on. Oh yeah. Found it. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay, here we go. Off to the side that goes. Okay, so then we switch to Julius's party, remember, with all these naked women that need to go put some clothes on. Okay, and all I was saying was, never mind. So yeah, we switched to Julius's party at this it was a rave. We're over at the underground. It was that kind of music, you know. So, you know. I watch too many movies. Anyway, so it was a rave. I'm over it. An underground rave, and there was glowing wand sticks and freaking pharmaceuticals and mason jars. It was all of it. It was all there. It was a rave. It was in a tunnel, and they had to have a secret invitation and all of that. Oh, they didn't add that part in. Oh, that's for the movie coming out. Oh, okay. What movie? There's no movie. Anyway. So yeah, Ben gets to the party. The stylist is fired. Ben gets to the party. Okay, so he looking all around for Julius. He didn't came dressed down to the T. You know what I'm saying? Like really trying to impress Julius. You know, let him know he's ready to be a part of his entourage and maybe even be his man. Okay, now y'all know Ben is a little sugary, but I'm not about to stake the claim yet. All right. So yeah, Ben get in there. Julius up there, he high as a kite, just he climbing. He see Julius, he see Ben, he like, oh, there he is. You know, just a clown. So he tells me, he's like, oh, come on over, you know. He was like, for a second, man, I thought you weren't going to make it. And Ben's like, no, I just had to ditch Eddie. He's like, Eddie. You know, and then he goes, so which one do you want? Talking about all these women. And I use that term loosely. All right, now let me stop. Talking about all these women. He goes, which one do you want? He goes, no, I'm good. I have a girlfriend. Smacks him. He goes, we don't use that word around here. You understand? He's like, yeah, I understand. He goes, good. Now, which one do you want? He was like, all right, I'll take her. And then he goes, I think you need a drink. He said, give me a drink. He needs a drink. That's how the Jedi did it, because I didn't finish watching your Jedi, but I watched it. I was dying. And by the way, I was like number 32. 32, big bro. It's so hard to be get the first like on your video, because the second you put it out, just everybody's on there. So 32 for me. I had 12 last week. I think I was like number 12. So yeah, alright. He's like, he needs a drink. Get him a drink. Okay, I'm done. Alright, forget it. He needs it. No, never mind. I was about to do it one more time, but I'm not. So yeah. Yeah, he goes, so you like them drugs, right? He goes, I love drugs. I was like, shut up, then. Because I can't. He goes, so which one you want? He was like, we got all kinds of candy around here. Just take your pick. He's well, I'll get some of that pure you were talking about. He was like, yeah, you will. He goes, do what you want to do. And it's on the table, so he's just, you know what I'm saying? Just, So, then he starts, like, coughing and all that. He was like, yeah, that's a good boy. He's like, so which one do you want? He goes, no, I'm good. He's like, no, you're not. Like, pulls him again. He's like, you like girls, right? He's like, yeah, man. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, because if you like boys, I can get you one, but I don't want to see that. He's like, nah, man. I like girls. He's like, I'll take her. He's like, you sure? He's like, yeah, I'll take her. And then, so he goes, oh, Dot. He's like, Dot, show my friend what you did to get into this party. And I wrote, ho-ho, okay, in parentheses. Because we're not going to talk about what happened, because if y'all didn't see it, I apologize. But let's just say she was a ho-ho. You know what I'm saying? Ho-ho. Alright? Not the kind you keep in your cabinet. Okay? Not the ones with the chocolate and the cream filling. She was another kind of ho-ho. You feel me? So, yeah. So, he's like, so, what's making you nervous, Ben? What's wrong with you? Because he's like, whoa, right here? And then he goes, yeah. He's like, what's making you so nervous, Ben? He's like, come on, Ben. He's like, cell phones, man, cell phones. He goes, cell phones? Gets up, pop, 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 pop. And he goes, hey. He's like, does anybody have a cell phone? And they're all looking at him crazy like, did y'all see that one girl who was on the floor? He was like, no. He was like, that's because nobody has cell phones in this party, you dig? He was like, you see that now, Ben? He's like, yeah, man, yeah, I got it. He's like, Musica! Because, they turned off the music when he started shooting. So he said, put on the red Musica! So they put the music back on. Alright? And then he sits back down. And then he's like, who told you to stop? Like, talking to the girl. So Ben is like, no, could you please? He's like, no, let her do what she needs to do. You know what I'm saying? And just go ahead or whatever. He's like, no, stop, please. Like, get away from me. So then she finally moves, and he goes, I think you like boys. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, I think that you... No, he's like, what? No. And then he's like, so what's wrong, Ben? He's like, listen, it's just that you've been so nice to me. He's like, you gave me your car. He's like, oh yeah, how's the car? He's like, I like it. I drove it here. He's like, that's good for you. And he's like, okay, but why are you being so nice to me? Like, I don't get it. He goes, I'll be honest. Before my father died, he said something that tickled my heart. He said, why make an enemy when you can use him for a benefit? He goes, you see, cops are my enemies, so I'm going to use you guys for my benefit. He's like, so I'm going to be honest with you, Ben. I'm just using you. And then Ben goes, so what are you using me for? Pretty much he tells him he needs a new crew because the crew that his father had on the payroll, he told him he had cops on the payroll, FBI. He's like, that crew, a lot of them got arrested, and some of them we had to just get them out of the country. He's like, there was even a captain that almost got arrested. He goes, Captain, and then Ben goes, Captain Mackey? And he's like, yeah, Captain Mackey, he's one of us. And he was like, wow, I didn't know that. He's like, yeah, you know what else you didn't know? Captain Mackey told a lot of information to Eddie about my name and my organization. And if Eddie goes down, it's not going to be good because he knows a lot about me and I don't trust that. So he's like, I got to get a whole new crew in there, out with the old and with the new. He's like, I want you to be a part of my crew. And at one point he kind of takes the gun out and is kind of waving it around, so Ben is kind of getting a little shaken up. He gets shaken up over anything. He's a junkie. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really nothing at all, because I had actually, when I wrote the script, I said I actually wanted Ben to actually sort of jump up. But Tyler said, oh no, because then we're going to be making it seem like he's a junkie. I said, Tyler, he is a junkie. Okay, but alas, I didn't get my way, and I walked off set. I said, I don't have to deal with this, Tyler. I don't have to deal with this. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, he all shaken up. So then he goes, yeah, I'm starting my own crew. I want you to be a part of it. And he's like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. And then so he's like, he needs to get messed up. Take him to go and get messed up. And it has one of the girls go take him to get messed up. Okay. So a dude like out of his entourage or whatever comes up to him and whispers in his ear. He's like, oh really? He goes, Eddie? He goes, thanks. And then we switch to the next scene. So then we switch to Nat and Lou. Okay, loved it. She wakes up out of bed. And she's like, why did you let me sleep for so long? He's like, you were tired. And she's like, yeah, but now I'll be up all night. He's like, I could put you back to sleep. I was like, Lou. Because you were doing too much right there, Tyler. Okay? Because I know that was Tyler. I didn't write that. I said, we're going to have Lou say, you know, you needed to sleep and get your beauty rest. And then we're going to move on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want that in the script. I didn't want it. So, yeah, he goes, I could put you back to sleep. And she goes, Lou. She goes, you know, I'm going to see Joey tomorrow. He's like, don't worry, hon. Like, we're going to get it all sorted out. She's like, yeah, I know. And, she's like, are you hungry? He goes, you know what I want. And she was like, Lou. And he was like, come on, I think we need to test these walls. I'll see how thin they are. See if the kids can hear us. I was over it. All the way. So she's like, Lou. He's like, come on. Like, you know, and then she's like, all right. She was like, well, come on then. And then so his phone rings. She goes, your phone vibrating. And he's like, that's not my phone. She goes, well, it ain't nothing that I got. I said, oh, really, Natalie? So he picks up the phone. It's Esperanza. She like, yo, Lou, you know, what's up and all that. You know what I'm saying? No, she don't. She was like, yeah, Lucian, I need you to go check up on Kelly because we had set up this thing where every 3 hours she'll either text me or call me to let me know everything is all right. And she's not picking up and she's not texting me, so I don't know what's going on. He's like, well, maybe she just forgot. She's like, no, that's the thing. She couldn't have. She set an alarm. So could you please go check on her? He's like, all right. So hangs up the phone. Natalie's like, so who was that? He goes, Esperanza. She goes, so now you got a baby with Alice and you're cheating on me with Esperanza. He's like, and get this, I'm going to see if my girlfriend Kelly is okay next door. Appreciated they were able to joke about that. So she's like, okay, could you check on the kids before you go over there? He's like, no, I already checked on them before I came in here. They're fine. So he leaves the room and goes outside. And he's going to check. So as he's doing that, Natalie sees Travis, but she doesn't know it's him. She just sees somebody in a black hoodie climbing up the fence. So she gets up and runs out. She's like, Lucian, I seen somebody climbing up the fence in the backyard. He's like, which way did he go? He's like, she goes, he went that way. He's like, okay, get in the house, lock the door, and call Kelly. She's like, okay. So then, hold on a second. So Dion and Rick are there. So Rick is like in the house, you know, in the back checking it out. So Dion shows up and he was there when it came to that scene. But Lucian is talking to him and he's like, I'm telling you what happened. Why aren't you taking this seriously? He's like, I'm just trying to piece it together, man. He's like, I'm telling you what happened. Like, what do you need to piece together? I'm letting you know. And he goes, okay. And I'm telling you now that we have a warrant for his arrest. And he's like, okay, fine, but can you do something? Like, he's like, you see how upset she is? She's scared. He's like, okay. Lucian goes, okay, what are you talking about? He's like, are you kidding me right now? You're really not going to take this seriously? She's not making this up. And he goes, I know. And then, so Esperanza goes, are you sure you're okay, Kelly? Like, you don't want to go to the hospital? She goes, no, girl, I'm fine. He ran as soon as my son said he was going to call the police. You know, and then she starts calling him out. He's like, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I was just doing my job. And she goes, no. She goes, you know what? What you should be sorry about is the fact that I came into that station and I told you about everything that was going on. But now you want to finally do something after he comes to my house and puts a knife to my throat. She goes, thank you so much for protecting and serving. I feel so safe with you guys. You know, I was doing my job, man. She goes, oh, yes, I could tell. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel like I was the villain when he was been doing all this, that, and the third, and you don't want to believe me until he puts a knife to my throat and practically kills me. Thank you for that. And he goes, we're going to pick him up now. And she goes, oh yeah, he'll be the one with the bite mark down below. She goes, so look closely. Yeah, look for that. And then Dion goes, copy that. Okay, Lou. And then so he leaves out. Dion got a little smart mouth, and I don't appreciate it. Okay. So Rick followed his lead and they get up out of there. Alright. Hold on a second. Because it's scrambled. Yep. Alright. So then we switch to Randall and Alex. They are at the custody hearing. She shows up late. Again, remember the first time she showed up late. And the judge goes, I thought I was going to have to hold you in contempt. She goes, no, I'm sorry. I just had to drop my kids off at school. And then I had to stop by the hospital to breastfeed my son. And he goes, Randall goes, wait a minute. She gets to see him? And then he goes, not that I have to tell you anything because I don't. But the judge thought it would be, but the doctor thought it would be a good idea if she still breastfeeds the child. He goes, well, that's still not fair. He goes, well, would you like me to place a court order saying that you need to breastfeed the child? And then so Randall's lawyer is like, okay, Randall, it's fine. Like, we'll figure it out. And then he goes, okay, well, let's proceed because I have the paternity results. Let's get into it. And she's like, before you read those, I'd like to say, and then Randall goes, don't try and hold them up. Don't try and, stall. He's like, come on, Your Honor, go ahead. He goes, ma'am, what is it that you wanted to say? And then she goes, I just want to say I'm sorry for wasting the court's time. I knew he was the father. And he's like, so you're saying you purposely did this? He's like, why would you do that? She's like, I was desperate. And then Randall goes, that's not an excuse. And he goes, sir. And then he goes, well, ma'am, that's not an excuse. And then she's like, yes, I know, and I'm sorry. I just really want to keep my son. She goes, Randall, please, please let him stay with me. Like, I promise you can come by and see him anytime you want. He's like, actually, I remember I asked you about that before. You said no. He's like, it's too late now. And then she's like, Randall, please, he's safe with me. He's like, actually, I don't know that, Alex. And then so he's like, go ahead, Judge. It's in the judge's hands now. Sorry, Alex. So the judge goes on to read. He's like, well, I'm ruling in the favor of the parent. And then so he's reading. He's like, well, the only parent that's present right now. And then Randall's like, what? He's like, according to this, there's a 99.9% probability that Randall Holmes is not the father. And he's like, what? He was like, you're a hoe. But he called her S-L-U-T. I don't know why I feel like more comfortable saying the other one versus that one. Because I feel like it's like, I don't want to say that, but I have to give you guys something. Because he said it so many times. He's like, you're a hoe. And then he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, are you telling me that's not my child? Are you kidding me? He's like, you're a hoe. He's like, you're kidding me? That's not my son. That's what you're trying to tell me? And then he gets up and storms out. And Alex is doing her fake crying. There's no tears at all. And, so the judge is like, well, Miss Montgomery, you will have supervised visitation. In 30 days, the custody hearing will come up again, and we'll see what happens then. She's like, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much. And I wrote Randall, not the father. Tyler's about to have to come up with something for this, because what, Tyler? A lot of people are saying, y'all are saying maybe they switched him or the doctor has something to do with it. I don't know. There's no way the baby is Lucian, so Tyler better not pull that out his behind. Please don't, Tyler. Please, Unc. So then we switch to Kelly. Okay, and I just want to say I hated Alex's wardrobe. For the dress was too short. I did not like the braid. I didn't like the... Let me stop, because I'm just being petty. Forget about it. Anyway, so then we switch to Kelly. She's waking up and, I forgot to mention, Esperanza and Natalie tell her, girl, there's no way you're staying here tonight. Esperanza tries to get her to come home with her, and Natalie goes, no, girl, she'll be fine. She'll be right next door at my house. Her son is over there, and, yeah, she's good. So she's like, all right. So then, yeah, we switch to Kelly. She's waking up at Natalie's house, and Natalie's like, you slept for a long time. She's like, yeah, but you needed it, so it's okay. And then she's like, I wanted to, what did she say? Yeah, she goes, do you want some breakfast? She goes, no, like, I can't. She's like, I'm just so embarrassed. She's like, why are you embarrassed? She was like, girl, I don't know how I got into this situation. I mean, I love him. Slipped up. And then she goes, well, at least I did. And then Kelly's like, girl, any of us can be in this situation. Like, you never know. She was like, girl, you didn't know that B-A-S-T-R-T-A-R-D was crazy? You didn't know? And then she goes, girl, if you want, she's like, you can still call my girl with the guns. And she goes, Natalie, she goes, girl, it's legit. She goes, I don't want nothing illegal, Natalie. She goes, no, girl, I'm telling you, it's legit. She got a license and everything. Like, she could do it. And she's like, she's like, it's not illegal or nothing. She goes, no, it's not. And then she was like, yeah, but I gotta get ready for work. And then she goes, girl, you need to call off. She goes, I need the money. Like, I wish, but I really need the money. And then she goes, plus it's hard to be in this house. She goes, why? She goes, Ramsey. She's like, yeah, girl, I'm real sorry about that. She goes, I mean, his mom and him died in your bedroom. And Natalie goes, what? She goes, oh, nothing. She goes, no, what did you say? She goes, Lucian is going to kill me for telling you. And then she goes, girl, I need to go look for my Bible. She goes, you got a Bible? She said, no, girl, but I'm going to get one. I said, I'm done with Natalie. I'm just done with her. So she's like, yeah, but I'm going to get one. So she goes, all right, so I'm going to just go back over to my house so I can get ready for work. And she's like, all right, I'll walk you over there. She goes, but if you had a gun, it could walk you over there. And she's like, really? So you appreciated that. That's right. Yeah. So then we switch to Lucian. Okay, he's getting a call from Pete. And he's telling him, and he's like, man, they're moving me right now. He's like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, they're taking down Eddie. He's like, how do you know that? Did they tell you? He's like, yeah, and that's why they're moving me, because they're about to pick him up. And he's like, all right, he's like, I'm going to call you back. He's like, but wait a minute, is there any word on Andrew? He's like, nah, man. And then Lou goes, okay, I'm going to call you back. He's like, no, wait, they're giving me all different numbers. He's like, okay, then you call me. He's like, all right, man, I'll see you. They hang up the phone. I really appreciate that brotherhood between Pete and Lucian. So then he goes over to Steven. And he goes, so Steven, you finally decided to take him down. And like he wheels, oh wait a minute, was this the one? Yeah, he wheels over there like in La La Land. And he just like, you know, I loved it. And he's like, so Steven, you finally decided to take him down. He's like, no. He goes, you know I wanted to get the Escada family first. He's like, now I won't be able to do that. And he goes, oh, well, that's too bad. He's like, don't act like you didn't call it in, Lou. He goes, I didn't. He was like, don't lie. He was like, Lamont told me that you did. He goes, Lou, you knew I was trying to get the Escada family, and Eddie was my only in. Now I'm never going to get them. He's like, no, you will. It's just going to take a little bit more time. He's like, but you told me you were cool with us waiting on Eddie. He's like, yeah, that's before I found out that BASCRD was killing officers. Then I knew he had to go. He's like, relax, Steven. This is good news. Like, we're getting Eddie off the street. He's like, no, that's what you wanted. I wanted the bigger end. I wanted the Escada family. He's like, we'll get them. He's like, no, whatever. I'm done with it. He's like, okay, thanks for fighting a good fight. And then he's like, la, 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 la. And he wheels back over to his desk. I said, get a little, because I wouldn't care either. You could be mad all you want. I don't care. So then we switched to Kelly, the alarm guy. I literally wrote the alarm guy because what they call it, a technician. The alarm guy. Well, he's leaving, and she's like, well, "Are you sure all the windows are secured?" He's like, "Yep." And you have 24-hour monitoring. 7 days a week, so you're good. As he's leaving, Nichelle, I believe that's what Natalie said her name was, comes in. And she's like, yeah, like, I'm here for Natalie. She's like, oh yeah, come in. And she goes, alright, well, how does she just start pulling her guns out? She's like, alright, she's like, you sure this is legit? She's like, yeah. But actually, first, she actually pulls out the gun. She's like, okay, this is a Glock. She goes, well, how does this feel? She goes, whoa, like, I guess kind of heavy. And she goes, all right. She goes, but I don't know how to use it. She's like, don't worry, I'll teach you. Without bullets, of course. And so she's like, yeah, of course. And then she was like, you sure this is legit? She goes, yes, I have my license and I sell online. She goes, and I will still have to do a background check. It's just going to take a few minutes, though. Like, I could do it over the phone. She was like, and I'll need your license, your driver's license and your social security number. And she's like, okay, no problem. She goes, and how would you like to pay? She goes, credit card. Yeah, she's like, I like to pay by credit card. She's having it's really legit because she's having her signing on the thing and all, She goes, yeah, I'll pay by credit card. She gives her the card. She calls her guy. She's like, Sean, yeah, did you get the number I just sent you? He goes, yeah, the card was declined. She goes, oh, hold on a second. She goes, the card is declined. She goes, no, that must be a mistake. Could you try it again? She goes, yeah, Sean, could you just run the number again? Declined, okay. It was declined. She goes, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I could assure you that line of credit is well over enough to buy a gun. She goes, but I'll just get you another card. Gives her that card. She's like, okay, Sean, I got a number for you. Reads him the number. This is declined. And then she's like, and then the lady's starting to get irritated because she's like, really? And she goes, I'm sorry, I really don't know what's going on. She goes, but, I'm sorry, I don't have all day. She goes, do you have cash? She goes, not on me. She goes, but I could run to the bank. She goes, can you wait like 15 minutes? She goes, look, she's like, it's going to cost you because I have other appointments. I did this for Natalie. I did this for a friend. She's like, I understand, but could you just, 15 minutes, that's all. She goes, would you mind waiting 15 minutes in your car? And then she goes, really? She goes, it's a nice day outside. And she was like, in my car, I can't believe this. She goes, thank you so much for waiting in your car. And like, I said the same thing. I was like, really, Kelly? I couldn't do it. So yeah, she makes her go wait in the car. And she calls like her person down there at the bank. She goes, hi, Jill. She's like, yeah, I just need you to run a card for me. She's like, oh yeah, what's the name on that card? She goes, oh, actually it's mine. She goes, girl, you know we got your card on file. And she's like, okay, which one is it? She goes, it's the one ending in 0998. And she's like, okay. And then she goes, oh, Kelly. She goes, it's way over the limit. She goes, over the limit? Like, how much? She was like, the charges are over, like, $80,000. She goes, what? She goes, wait a minute, Jill, stop. What is it? What is it telling you that I spent it on? She goes, Kelly. She goes, it's saying, you know, SEX toys. She's like, Jill, hold on a second. Hold on. You gotta be kidding me. She's like, you know I would never spend my money on that. She goes, oh my, she's like, Jill, are you kidding me? She's like, and there's a line of other stuff on here, Kelly. I'm too embarrassed to say it. She was like, Jill, you know I would never spend no money on this. She's like, oh my goodness. She was like, girl, if they find out about this at work, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. And then she's like, okay. She goes, can you just keep this between us? She's like, yeah, girl, I'm not going to say anything. She's like, okay, I got to figure some things out, do some research. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, all right. And they hang up the phone. All right. She goes, oh, she's like, I got some more bad news for you. She goes, it's attached to your checking and savings account. She goes, Kelly, you have no money at all. She goes, that explains why the mortgage people were trying to call me today. I didn't know what she goes, and they tried to email me, but I didn't know what about. She goes, so my checks are bouncing? She goes, yeah, there's no money in any of your accounts. She's like, are you kidding? And her reaction wasn't believable to me. I feel like she should have been a little more, my life is over. You know what I mean? Like, holding it together, but still, I don't know. So, yeah. But it was a believable reaction, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Appreciated Weena Finley, though. Great actress. All right. So, she ain't got no money. Travis did whatever he did. She ain't got no money in the bank. All right. I got money in the bank. But it's the opposite for her. So, then we switch to Eddie. He telling somebody for speeding. So, who is it? Lo and behold, it's Junkie Ben. All right. So, he tell Ben, get out the car. Get out of the car. He gonna say, what you doing with a car like this? Whose car is this? He gonna say, it's a buddy of mine. He's like, buddy? What buddy? He goes, nobody that you know. Yeah, he's like, nobody that you know. He's like, what are you talking about, nobody that I know? I know every drug dealer around this place. This is a drug dealer's car? He's like, no, man, I said it was a friend's. He's like, yeah, okay. And he runs the place. Like, I'm going to run the place. He goes, no, that's not necessary. Eddie, please don't run the place. Don't run the place. And then he's like, you got drugs on the seat? He goes, come on, man. He's like, who are you making a run for, Ben? He's like, no, those are mine. And he's sniffing. I was saying, that's literally what he was doing. And he goes, no, those are mine, man. Those are mine. And then, so, I just hate that I just did that. So, yeah, he's like, those are mine. And so he runs the place. And, you know, he gives him the number and all that, you know, on dispatch. And the person goes, yeah, that's Julius Escada Sr.'s plates. And he goes, thank you. And he goes, what are you doing? What are you doing driving Escada's car, huh? What are you doing? And then he's like, what are you doing out here, Ben? Like, telling him, like, you know, I'm on to you. But then Ben makes up something. He's like, all right, man, I popped a kid. He had the car. He goes, I stole the car from some kid, and I took it joyriding. Okay, that's the truth. He goes, all right, man. And, like, shoves. He's like, get the heck out of here. Get the heck out of here, Ben. He's like, all right, man. He tries to get back into the car. He's like, I'm taking this baby right here. He's like, you need to go back that way. He's like, nah, Eddie, please, Eddie, because he's freaking out because Julius gave him the car. So Eddie gets in the car, leaves him in the dust. Ben mad because he got a ride in that police hoopty. All right, and Eddie drove off in a red sports car. So he get in the police car, and he's like, dang it. So yeah, I don't know, y'all. I'm method acting, you know, because now my nose is acting funny. Okay, so forget about it. So then we switch to Natalie. Everybody came over, the girls, Esperanza, Kelly, Alex, they all came over and brought the kids. By the way, their dresses were all short and tight. Did you guys notice that? Except Natalie. I love Natalie's outfit. But short and tight, even Kelly's. You know, it was just tight. Esperanza's was tight. Marcy, I love Marcy. Y'all know that's my girl. But Marcy's outfit, what was going on with Marcy? Marcy. Alex's dress, y'all know I didn't like that. What the Jedi be saying? TJ Maxx, JC Penney. So yeah, they all came over with the kids and everything. And Alex is like, oh wow, it's so, the kids immediately run to the backyard. And Alex is like, oh, this is so nice in here. And Natalie goes, yeah, your baby daddy picked it out. And then Alex is like, stop it. And then Esperance is like, well, what's that about? She's like, nothing. And then Esperance is like, no, you're going to tell me what's going on. And then Alex is like, no, we're not. So they drop it and move on. So she goes, yeah, girl, did you get the alarm yet? She goes, yeah. And then Alex was talking about, she goes, I should get one. And Natalie's like, yeah, girl, I'm about to get me one too. And Esperance is like, I don't even know how you guys do it because I don't even go to sleep without mine on. I was like, this prissy witch. Like, we all talk about how we gonna get an alarm. You talking about you don't never go to sleep without yours on. Are you serious? No, just kidding. So, yeah, and Alex was like, that is so crazy because we never needed that around here. And Natalie's like, really? She's like, yeah, it used to be so safe, but nowadays, like, you just don't know. And she goes, and then Natalie goes, well, we got a cop on the block, so we good. And then Esperance is like, a good cop, finally. And then Alex is like, please do not reference Eddie in any way. And Esperance is like, yeah, I don't know why I did that. You're right. Like, I'm sorry. And then she's like, I'm about to call Lou and tell him that we hungry so we can get some food around here. So then we switch to Steven. And Lou was like, anything yet? And he's like, no, I haven't heard anything. And so Natalie calls him. And she's like, yeah, could you bring some food? Like, we're all hungry. And so he's like, I'm sorry, babe, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Like, I got something going down here. She was like, you going to invite these girls over and then you're not even going to be here to show up? He's like, I'm sorry, I just got something going on. I can't make it. And then she's like, well, we're hungry. He's like, I'm sorry, like, I can't make it. She's like, how you gonna invite out? He's like, look, I already told the people from work not to come, and so it's just gonna be you and the girls. And she's like, alright, well, I guess we'll order out then. He's like, okay. She's like, you're not even listening to me. He's like, babe, I gotta go. Like, I got something to handle down here. And then Steven comes out. He's like, they don't know where Eddie is. And he's like, alright, I gotta call you back. And so he's like, you kidding me? Wait a minute. Yeah, so Ben comes in, sniffling and all of it. And so Lou was like, he's really anxious now. He's like, Ben, where is he? Where is he? And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, he's like, oh, but you didn't just drive this car up here? He's like, yeah, he told me to take the car back to the station. Well, he's like, well, where is he? He's like, I don't know. He's like, well, you better find him. He's like, dude, I'm not even on duty. Find somebody else to do it. He's like, no, you're here now. You better find him. He's like, all right, fine. So he leaves. He's going to find Eddie because Lou's like, he knows where he's at. He knows where he is. And Steven's like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's like, yes, he does. Then we switch to Eddie. In Julius's car, being nasty, the usual. He got some prostitute in the car. I don't know. So Julius tells Eddie. Julius get out the car, comes up to Eddie. He's like, Julius, what are you doing? I skipped kind of, so I don't know if there was any dialogue, let me know, because it was doing too much for me. So, yeah, he's like, yeah, Julius, what are you doing here? He's like, the FBI is looking for you. He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, listen, do you even know where the captain is? He's like, yeah, the captain's been on vacation for a while now. He's like, yeah, in Colombia. He's like, what? What are you talking about? He was like, listen, I'm just telling you, it's in your best interest not to go back to the police station. They're going to pop you. Like, they're going to get you. And I can't afford for you to go down. You know too much about my family and my organization. And Eddie is like, you know, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, come on, man, don't lie. The captain never told you nothing. He was like, look, I'm not going to lie to you. He told me some stuff about you. He's like, but you got to know I would never say anything about your name or your organization. He's like, yeah. If you do, you know you're going to end up dead. He's like, but still, I don't trust it. I can't afford for you to go down because you're probably going to be singing like a canary. So he's saying it's in his best interest that Eddie doesn't go down because he knows too much and he's a freaking punk. So he'll crack it. It's a sign of any type of pressure. So he's telling Eddie, don't go back to the police station. He's like, are you serious, man? They're really there waiting for me? He's like, why don't you go look, find out and see? And he's like, all right, man. He's like, fine, I'll just go. And he's like, okay. And he goes and clean my seats and bring my car back to my house in an hour. So I'm not gonna say nothing about it yet. Then we switch back to Natalie. Okay, because at first I was wondering. I was like, Julius, why are you warning him? And then when he said that, I was like, oh, it's a selfish thing. So it made sense, but I was still annoyed by it. So yeah, then we switch to Natalie. Hold on. Marcy comes over. She's like, oh, hey, Natalie, I just heard you moved in down the street. I just wanted to bring you something. She brought her, like, you know, welcome to the neighborhood plant. She's like, oh, come on in, girl, you know. And she sees all the girls there. She goes, is it a party? Should I come back later? And she's like, no, girl, we're all adults here. Just come on in and sit down. She goes and sits right next to Alex just to antagonize her. And, hold on a second. So Natalie, so then, yeah, they're all like, so she's like, so what's been going on? And Esperanza's like, well, girl, a lot, but you don't know? She's like, no, girl, I have no idea. She's like, well, Natalie, we're going to need some wine around here. And then she's like, no, I can't. And so they're like, wait a minute, why not? And she goes, I thought Alex would have told you guys. She goes, told us what? She goes, I'm pregnant. She's like, what? And they're like, oh, Marcy, like, are you serious? And they're kind of congratulating her. The first thing I would have thought was, is the baby Brad's? So I was a little surprised that they weren't more like, what? It was that, but it was more like it was masked by that. Oh, like we're happy for you. And then she goes, "Don't you want to know who the father is?" And so they're being petty. She's being petty. She goes, "It's Brad's." And she goes, "How's your baby, Alex?" And then so they're like, so Esperanza keeps being like, "Marcy, stop." It was kind of getting on my nerve because okay, yeah, Marcy was being petty, but at the same time, Alex was. You did all that time of being petty when you was messing with her husband and still claiming to be her friend. Then you got a child now. So I think Marcy, she deserves a little bit of ha-ha, even though the baby's not Brad's, allegedly. So she's like, yeah, it's Brad's. And Esperanza's like, stop, okay? And Alex is like, you know what? I'm going to leave. And then Esperanza's like, no, Alex, we need to stop this. Like, we're grown women here. We need to talk about this. And then Alex is like, well, clearly she never will. And then Natalie's like, okay, we're not coming into my house with this. Like, we're not doing this, Marcy. And so Marcy's like, well, Natalie, I love the house. I love the decor. She's like, well, thank you, girl. She goes, on the deck, you have great taste. She goes, actually, Lucian picked out most of it. She's like, well, Lucian has great taste, too. Kind of like me and Alex have great taste in men. And so they're like, really, Marcy? Because she just keeps going back to it no matter what. And she goes, now, Alex, what's this I hear about your baby? And Esperanza's like, Marcy, stop. And Kelly's like, Marcy, please don't do this. And she's like, no, I heard something about Alex's baby. I just think we should talk about it. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because, all the girls are low-key nosy. She goes, I hear that Randall isn't the father. And the girls are like, what? She's like, yeah, apparently the judge ordered a DNA test and Randall isn't the father. She goes, I laughed so hard when Miss Louise told me about it. I just couldn't stop laughing. And then she goes, so have you talked to Lucian, Natalie? Like, trying to think. I didn't like that. I was like, really, Marcy? And then, so Natalie freaked out when she said Randall isn't the father. Because Natalie's like, what? What do you mean he's not the father? And then she goes, have you talked to Lucian? She goes, no, well, Lucian is not the father. She goes, well, you might want to check because, I didn't think Randall was the father either. She goes, no, but she wouldn't do that. She goes, well, that's what I thought. That could never happen. So you might just want to confirm that, he's not the father. She goes, it's not Lucian. She goes, well, Alex, whose is it? No, Esperanza goes, stop, Marcia. And then she goes, well, Alex, whose baby is it? And then she just looks. She goes, you know what? I'm going to leave. And then she goes, kids, come on. And then Esperanza's like, no, Alex, don't bring the kids in this. Just let them play. She said, all right, fine. But when you guys are done doing this, send the kids back home, please. And then she goes, Alex, come on, don't run out. Whose baby is it? And then so they all follow Alex to her house. They all come out, including Marcy, with them 2 short shorts on and the heels on. I didn't like it. She usually has this it's a classy, cute, you know what I mean? I didn't like that outfit. Just didn't read her for me, and I didn't like it. So yeah, the shorts were too short, and I didn't like the color. you know what it is? I'm being petty tonight. That's what it is. I don't know. So yeah, they all follow her to the house, and she's like, no, Alex. What did she say to him? No, she goes, Alex, tell me, what's up? Like, whose baby is it, Alex? And then Esperanza's like, Marcy, let her go in the house. And so she's like, oh, hi, because Brad is right there on the porch. So she goes, hi, Brad. And then Marcy's like, hey, Brad. And then she goes, Brad, did you tell him, Brad? Did you tell him, Alex? And then so she goes, Brad, can we talk in private? And he goes, yeah, sure. And then she goes, Brad, are you sure you really want to talk to her? And he's like, yeah, I'll see you at home, okay? Like, trying to shade Alex, too, because, he tried to be nice, but he did it on purpose, because he knew Alex. He's like, yeah, I'll see you at home, okay? He gonna try and act like he wasn't trying to shade Alex. We know what you was doing, trying to make her jealous. And she goes, well, like, are you sure you really going to talk to her? He's like, yeah, but I'll see you at home. So she grabs him, starts kissing him. He's kissing her back. I didn't get that, because you're going to try and act like you don't want to antagonize her, but you doing all this, Brad, really? So yeah, and then she grabs him down below. I hated those shorts she was wearing. I couldn't stand them. They were classless to me. and I couldn't. I'm sorry, and she's a sister too, so like I said, she usually has that classy, cute look, you know what I'm saying, where it's very business professional, but it's cute, you know. So he goes, Marcy, like when she grabbed him, she goes, just warming up my dinner. And then so they go, Brad and Alex go in the house, and Marcy just goes and sits on the porch. Okay. She messed up when she did that. Oh, okay. So yeah, they go in the house. Marcy sits on the porch. And he's telling her, like, yeah, I'm real sorry about the situation that's going on. And just all of this. And he goes, you know, I'm really sorry about what Marcy's doing to you. And she goes, yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. She just won't stop. He's like, yeah, I told her to stop. And she's like, really, you did? He's like, yeah. And she goes, why? He's like, because, you know, you suffered enough and I don't want you to suffer anymore. And she goes, Brad, like, oh, you're so sweet. I was over it right there. And so she goes up and she hugs him. And then she starts, like, trying to kissing on his neck or whatever. I was over it right there. So then he's like, Alex, stop. Like, what are you doing? And she's all this, please don't leave. I need you. I love you. And just all of this extra stuff. And he's like, Alex, don't make a fool of yourself. As he's, like, being sucked in, you know what I'm saying, being fooled, he's saying, don't make a fool of yourself, as if he's actually gonna leave. Don't make a fool of yourself. She's not making a fool of herself if you going forward with it, Brad. So he tries to leave, and she's like, no, don't leave. And she, at one point, grabs him from the door. And I skipped, so I'm over it. I hope there was no dialogue. But I did get a glimpse, and I'm sorry, I don't know. Marcy might have heard them. Is that what, and she gets up and walks off the porch? Is that what happened? I don't know. You guys tell me. So then we switch to Lou. Okay. Steven gets a call. He's like, Lou is going down. And then so Lou is just happy. He's like, I've been waiting on this. Goodbye, Eddie. And so then we switch to Eddie. I guess he's in the red sports car. He's speeding all across town. Didn't y'all think they would, like, there was going to be a decoy car? And then the person that they pulled over was not going to be Eddie, and Eddie was, like, freaking driving the coast or something like that. I swear I thought that, because from a certain angle, I was like, I bet you it's not about to be Eddie in the car. And I was about to be freaking over it. So, no, but he's driving, and they stop him. I'm like, let me find out that it's not Eddie in the car. So, but it is. And so they got him cornered. They're like, yeah, suspect driving up Main Street, 20 miles, you know. And so they got him cornered. They're like, Edward Willis, step out with your hands in the air. What does Eddie do? Lights up a joint and starts looking all around. I was over it. Okay. But I'm ready. Okay, because I cannot wait. Now I'm so pumped for the next season. Tyler, you did it well. You did it well. So then we switched to Natalie, Esperanza, and Kelly. And they're like, girl, I can't believe. They went back to the house. They're like, you know what? Marcy is crazy, girl. Like, what? So Natalie is freaking out. And she's like, well, whose baby is it? Whose baby is it? And she's like, no. She's like, you know what? I need an excuse to go back over there. So she wants to take the kids back to the house. She's like, kids, come on. We're going home. Because she wants to go back over there. And they're like, Natalie, no, please don't. And so they're like, Mom, wait, like, why are we leaving so early? That's what all the kids are doing. They're like, I was just starting to have fun. So she's walking them over there. And then, so she's like, no, like, if this is Lucian, then me and Lucian need to find out what's up, because this can't be true. The police come out the car, and I see them pull up. I'm like, what the heck is going on? They're all like, and then Natalie, they're trying to stop Natalie, like, no, Natalie, you know it's not his child. She's like, no, if it is Lucian's, then we need to, the cops come up. And Kelly's like, what's going on? He goes, you're under arrest. She goes, I'm under arrest for what? He goes, you're under arrest for the murder of Ramsey Walter. She goes, what are you talking about? I didn't murder him. What are you talking about? The kids all go in the house because Justice is like, I'm going to show you guys our new alarm. She goes, Justice, that is not a toy. He goes, come on, guys, I'm going to show you the new alarm. Just ignores her. And so the kids all go in the house. As you hear Kelly kind of fighting the cop, like, no, I didn't, what are you talking about? I didn't do this. All you hear is a gunshot in the house when all the kids are in the freaking house. Next season on If Loving You Was Wrong. No, and then no, not even that. They just roll credits. Oh my good. Did Travis come back and shoot Justice? Y'all, I'm telling you, Tyler is wilding out with these kids. Tyler, you wilding with these kid killings. And you know it. and they all freeze and they all look at the door. Like, that's how it ended, because you see, first of all, you hear a bang, and then you see like a light, like a flash. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Man, this is crazy. I cannot believe it. Good episode. I can honestly say I'm content. I'm chill. But I am excited for the next season. Y'all know the Habs is coming back in like, what, 3.5 weeks? I'm so excited. It's like, I'm so excited. Like, that's all I can say about it. I'm excited. Queen Sugar's coming back. I am caught up on Queen Sugar, so I'm definitely going to be watching that. Don't know if I'm going to be reviewing it, because they do come on the same night. The Jedi, I wish you the best of luck, because I know the Jedi will be reviewing it. And it's a 2-night season premiere for Queen Sugar, which I'm very excited about, because remember, it left off, I don't want to spoil for anybody, so spoiler alert, 5 seconds to give you time to click off. Ralph Angel found out that his father actually left him the farm. Not all 3 of the kids, just him. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. What's going to happen with Nova and the white dude, Calvin, I believe his name. I'm over that. I don't like him. I just can't. You know what? It's not even that I don't like him. It's the simple fact, like, okay, you was married. Bam, that's prosecution rests. I don't need to say anything else. So here's what I'm going to do, you guys. Okay. Now, let me know. I could do a shout-out video another time, because this is running too long. I've never done a review this. No, scratch it. I have. I lied. The last of Love Years on finale, my review was this long. I will do shout out. Either let me know, do you guys want me to do it the night of the Has and the Have-Nots season premiere, or do you want me to make a video sooner than that? Your wish is my command, so let me know. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me this season. Much love to you guys, because you guys know I wouldn't be here without you, and of course Jehovah God. So thank you guys so much for always supporting me. Appreciate all my new subscribers. Please comment, please like. I will get back to you. I'll try to. No, just kidding. I'm gonna get back to y'all. Much love to you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you for the Haves and the Have-Nots, and maybe any other videos in between. So thank you guys so much once again. It's your girl, JJ. Y'all know what it is. I gotta go to school tomorrow. Peace.